Welcome to the Dartarian Show. I'm Alexander Dartarian.
And I'm Dominic Sykes.
And today we're going to do Urban Legends Texas, but we also have a very, very special event on this episode.
Right.
We were contacted by a band named Avilion. I think it's Avilion.
Yeah, I believe that's what it is.
Yeah, Avilion. And they wanted us to play a song at the end of this episode and tell you guys where to find them and everything.
Yeah, basically promote them.
Yeah, and of course we agreed, 100%. And so we're going to give you a little bit of information about them at the end of the episode, and we'll play their song at the end. And you guys, if you like them, go find them, support them. They're just starting out, so they're using basic equipment, kind of like how we were at first. So, just be nice to that they can get out of there and stuff, and they can, I don't know, I definitely see the potential in them. I listened to all of their songs that they had on YouTube, so
yeah,
I definitely see potential.
Yep. Get some good equipment. We may be endorsing the next superstar. You never know.
Yeah. But first, we're going to get through these urban legends with Texas, and the way I'm going to do it, anyways. I don't know if you're going to be doing the same way. With the urban legends I have, I'm going to tell you exactly what city they're in and where they come from.
I'll be more generalized.
Okay.
Texas in general, just.
All right. So I guess I'll go first then. Have you ever heard of black-eyed children?
I have.
Or black-eyed kids?
Yeah. I have heard of that before, but I can't. I feel like we've talked about it on one of our previous episodes.
I think they started as a creepypasta, but it's a contemporary folklore legend.
Gotcha.
It's in Amarillo, Texas. Black-eyed children are an American contemporary legend of paranormal creatures. So they look like children, but between the ages of 6 and 16, with pale skin and black eyes. But so they look like children, but they're not. There's something off about them. Like they act with no emotion whatsoever.
Little demon children.
Yeah, like that's what they either think demons or aliens is what they think. So basically, what they do is they hitchhike or they beg. They're encountered on doorsteps of households. Tabloid coverage of these creatures has claimed that the tales of the black-eyed children have existed since the 1980s. Most sources indicate the legend originated from 1996 postings written by Texas reporter Brian Bethel on a ghost-related mailing list relating to alleged encounters with black-eyed kids.
So what, like a Reader's Digest for paranormal stuff kind of thing? Or
like a blog.
I gotcha.
Yeah, like a blog. Kids are more likely to approach people who already know about them. So on Halloween, as the trick-or-treaters wander by their doorways, keep an eye out for soulless black eyes and that feeling of dread. Because you get feeling of dread when you see these children. That's why you know they're not human.
Right.
Also, and you don't let them in their house. There's a story about these this couple that let them in the house, and they just felt like foreboding about them and stuff. And they were like, "Can we use your phone?" Like that's how they asked.
So like you said, no inflection in their voice, no emotion whatsoever, just flat toned.
Yep. And
you know what that reminds me of? There's a creepypasta thing, and you know that might be where it could also, because you were talking about earlier. It's anthology horror series called Channel Zero, and in the first season it takes a creepypasta about Candle Cove, but there are children in that season that are like mind controlled type things, and they turn into these murderous little demons.
I think I've heard one story where the people let them in, and the people winded up going missing.
Right.
Yeah, like they're the only ones that ever let them in the house, and
nobody knows who they are type deal.
But so that's why they think it's. There's also another one. The guy was cashing a check or something with a bank, and the black-eyed kids came up to him on the street and knocked on his window, and he rolled it down, and he was like, "Can we get a ride? Can we get a ride?" And he's like, "No."
Yeah.
Like, no.
Where are your parents
cool.
at? Like,
and
why are you out
they're
here
like
by
this, and they're just staring at him, and the eyes were black, and they're like, "Can we get a ride? We just need to go home to our parents.
Yeah, no.
We need to go home," like that. And he's just like,
No.
rolled up the window. It's like, fuck this shit.
Get out of there while we can.
So that's the Black Eyed Kids in Amarillo, Texas.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, kids are always scary though. Like when you watch a horror movie and it's based around children, like Children of the Corn.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about the movie, but the book was pretty scary.
Well, there's two types of horror that you can get from kids. You can get the kids themselves are scary, type horror movie, or the fear of the child being in danger type of horror movie.
Yeah.
So you can go either way. So I'm going to talk about one next.
Right.
It's going to be El Muerto. So if you're a horse thief in Texas, right, back in the day, you better be sure that you get away with it. Because in 1848, a Mexican bandit named Vidal, right, took horses from, different areas and shit like that, all around Texas, right?
Yeah.
But he messed up specifically when he took horses from a Texas Ranger named Creed Taylor.
Oh yeah, you don't mess with Texas
Don't
Rangers.
mess with the Ranger, who proceeded to chase the bandit down. On his quest, he recruited another Ranger named Bigfoot Wallace, and the two set off together. Once they found Vidal, Wallace cut off his head and mounted his body on the saddle of a wild Mustang. He then put the head in a sombrero and also attached it to the saddle, and let the Mustang loose to just roam the countryside and presumably scare everyone it came in contact with. And people still report to this day seeing the Headless Horseman wandering around the Texas plains at night.
Oh damn.
Yeah.
Headless Horseman. Wasn't there a German tale about that?
There's a bunch of different...
Like
there's
Sleepy
Hollow.
Yeah, that was like the German.
There's a bunch. But yeah, so it's basically a Headless Horseman. But the legend behind it is pretty interesting, I think, too.
Yeah. Next we have the Candy Lady, Clara Crane. Clara Crane. Wow. Clara Crane.
Interesting headliner, though. Candy Lady.
Yeah, and it's in Terrell, Texas. Clara Crane was accused of poisoning her husband back in 1895. She gave him some caramels that were laced with some form of poison that killed him. Probably back then, probably cyanide or strychnine.
Yeah.
Both of those are very, very easy to get a hold of, especially back in the day. They pretty much, you went to a pharmacy and they gave it to you. She gave him, so a few years later, or before, she allegedly killed her husband. The Crane's 5-year-old daughter died.
Oh, man.
Clara?
Yes.
Clara blamed her husband for the passing of their daughter, which is why many believed that she killed him. So, she's probably fucking crazy. Clara was placed in a North Texas lunatic asylum, now known as Terrell State Hospital. In 1903, children started going missing near her old property. Children said candy would be left on their window while they were sleeping. Sometimes there would be notes on the wrappers around the candy. After several children started going missing, the townspeople believed it was Clara, the woman who had killed her husband with poisoned candy, who was responsible for these disappearances, which I don't know how.
This sounds like the plot for Darkness Falls.
Well, that's the tooth
It's
fairy.
with the teeth instead of candy, but the rest of it all just fits right in with the plot. She was...
No, you're talking about at the beginning when she gave candy for people who brought their teeth.
And they called her a witch and basically...
Yeah, 2 children went missing, but they found them later.
Right, but they killed her for it.
Yeah, well, they kind of fucking deserved her coming back and wreaking havoc on that town.
But that's just what it reminded me of.
Yeah, a nearby farmer had found teeth in his fields, and the town sheriff was killed. Jesus. He had forks shoved into his eyes and was found with candy in his pockets.
Probably because he looked at her.
I don't know.
You're not supposed to look at her.
No one really knows whatever came of Clara Crane, but to this day, it is believed the Candy Lady still roams around luring little children with candy, then pulling their teeth and stabbing them in the eye with forks.
Wow. Texas got some pretty messed up folklore.
What the fuck, bro?
All right, so the next one for me is the Lechuza. So in Texas, it's best to stay indoors when the sun sets, just as a general principle.
Oh, yeah, there's coyotes.
If you're out and about, you might run into a Lechuza, which is basically a shape-shifting witch. According to legend, Lechuza are women who have made a deal with the devil, as we've already discussed all this in our witch episode, but selling their souls in exchange for intense magical powers. During the night, the women transform into horrible hybrid monsters with bird bodies and human faces. They fly through the night, hunting for their prey. When they find someone they want to devour, they perch somewhere off in the distance and start either whistling or making baby noises. Those who go out to investigate the weird sounds are quickly picked up by the witch, never to be seen again.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Can't mess with witches, man. But usually, I mean, like, yeah, they get, but don't their soul get taken when they make that deal?
Usually,
or do they send souls down to pay the debt?
Could be both.
Both? Okay. So the next one is Demons Road, Huntsville, Texas.
Mm-hmm.
People that wander off down Demons Road tell tales of disturbing encounters and an eerie feeling that sweeps over anyone who dares disrupt the spirits said to be lingering down Demons Road.
Mm.
The old road leads to an old cemetery known as Martha's Chapel Cemetery.
Huh.
Locals warn curious people who desire to brave the path or to visit the graveyard to not provoke the spirits of many of those warnings are spoken by those who claim that the spirit followed them home.
That's the first thing any children would do.
After being in the... Yeah, dude, they're... You know.
Hey, ghost, you suck. You can't get us. Suck it, demons.
And if you guys want to visit the Demons Road, Bowden Road, Huntsville, Texas is where you can go. Good luck and don't pick up any hitchhikers because they may not be alive anymore.
Right.
So, yeah.
Next one is the Dancing Devil of El Camaroncito. I'm probably not saying that right, but on Halloween night in 1975, a handsome, charming young man entered the El Camaroncito nightclub and changed San Antonio forever. The way the urban legend goes, the man was absolutely fantastic on the dance floor. This dude could, like, pop a move, no problem.
Yeah.
Everyone wanted to be around him, and he danced really, really well. As the night went on, he was dancing with a lucky lady when she happened to glance down at his feet and shrieked in terror. Everyone at the nightclub was shocked to discover that the man's feet had transformed into long-clawed chicken's feet. In some version of the story, it would be goat hooves. The creature, who most assumed was the devil himself, quickly made a mad dash to the bathroom, where he disappeared in a puff of smoke, leaving the bar with a strongly sulfuric smell. I would say that maybe people in the club had a little bit too much to drink.
Yeah. I mean, he could have just let off a smoke bomb or like a fart bomb or what are they called? The stink bombs or whatever.
Yeah.
So, it is Halloween, so.
Yeah, it could have been a costume.
I mean, it's Halloween. Like, that's the last thing I would say.
It was
that it was like a demon or
I
something.
don't know, maybe he had to be there.
I guess. The next one is Ghostly Nurse of Bexar County, San Antonio, Texas.
Another one from San Antonio.
Yep. Janine Ann Jones, born July 13th, 1950, is an American serial killer.
Oh.
Responsible for the deaths of up to 60 infants and children in her care as a licensed vocational nurse during the 1970s and 1980s.
Damn.
Yeah, I know. In 1984, Jones was convicted of murder and injury to a child. She had used injections of, oh my lord, digoxin, Hyperion, and later, oh my god, and later, succinylcholine. It's poison. It's all poison. I'm not a doctor, so I don't know how to fucking...
That's all right. We get it.
Yeah. To induce medical crises in her patients, causing numerous deaths. The exact number of victims remains unknown. Hospital officials allegedly misplaced and then destroyed the records of Jones' activities.
Oh, of course.
To prevent further litigation after Jones' first conviction.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, why,
get rid of the evidence
why
so they
give
don't get sued?
Closure to all these parents and stuff when they can be like, oh, well, we don't want to get sued.
Yeah, that's messed up, man.
She later said, I haven't killed a damn soul. I always cry when babies die, said Janine Jones. You can almost explain away an adult death. When you look at an adult die, at least you can say they've had a full life. When babies die, they've been cheated. They've been cheated out of a hell of a lot. This is her saying this.
She
thinks that
is claiming she hasn't killed any children at all. You know, I don't know what's going on with that.
So she said she didn't do it. I don't know if you believe it or not.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. She 100% did it, obviously.
Oh, yeah,
they have
she
enough
did.
evidence,
She
but
has enough
why
evidence.
she doesn't
They
seem
would
to-
have more evidence if the hospital didn't destroy all the records
Right.
to protect their own ass, which is bullshit. But go ahead with that next one, or do you have another one, or do you want me?
I do. I got.
I was
I
like, 'cause
think
I have
I've
several.
got one more. Is the Fang baby?
Oh, okay.
This urban legend, right? It plays out like a horror movie.
Yeah.
So in San Antonio again, in the '60s, a group of friends were driving home late at night when they noticed something small in the road. They swerved to avoid it, but they all could have sworn afterwards that it looked like a toddler with a blood-stained mouth. The next day, one of the guys went back to that stretch of road to check things out, but blew a tire when he arrived. When he stopped to rest for a bit, the guy drifted off to sleep, and when he woke up, he found the toddler sitting on his lap. The last thing he saw before he perished was that toddler had 2 fangs sticking out over its top lip.
Oh, Lord.
Vampire baby.
Okay. Is that the whole tale?
Yeah, that's the whole legend.
My next urban legend is the haunted Chinese cemetery in San Antonio, Texas.
Oh, San Antonio, man.
Yeah,
you guys
it's huge.
Yeah,
it's
you guys
a
got
pretty
a
big
bunch.
city. If you ever find yourself in the south side of San Antonio, driving down the lonely street of South Zarzamora, good God, that's a mouthful. Keep your eyes wide open for the small cemetery virtually forgotten by time. This cemetery is the Chinese graveyard, also known as Loma China Cemetery, and the Guzman Burial Ground. Legend has it that if you drive to the cemetery at night, parking just near the front with your car completely shut off and windows rolled down, you may have a paranormal experience.
Right.
Supposedly, if you flash your lights off and on 5 times, voices will begin emanating from the beyond. And some have even seen a tall white apparition floating through the grounds. The tiny Chinese graveyard is located at 10445 South Zarzamora Street in San Antonio, right? So if
Right.
you guys want to visit it, you guys can do it. This secret cemetery is hard to spot from the road, but near the front gate stands a white cross seemingly acting as a calling card. But this is not the case, as there's signage posted amongst the trees and gate, clearly to state that the Chinese graveyard is private property and that you should keep out.
Right.
And this is a warning you should heed. So that's the Chinese cemetery.
That was interesting.
Yeah, I mean they're saying, hey, don't come in here.
Yeah.
Like you might die.
Yeah. No, no ghost hunters in the cemetery.
Yeah, people are gonna go. People are gonna go. So, like I said, I just literally gave you the address. So if you guys want to make that a stopping point on a road trip or something, that'd be freaking awesome.
Yep, just don't enter.
Yeah, don't enter it. Just sit outside. So the next one is Summit Elementary School in Amarillo, Texas. So different, Amarillo. Summit Elementary School was open in this location until 1972. The building, which is at the top of the hill on the top of the Northwest 11th Avenue, again, if you want to go see it, is said to be haunted for a number of different reasons. A janitor who killed students and stuck them in the boiler, racially motivated murders that took place in the school, and murdered prostitutes hidden in the walls are just a few of the urban legends about this building.
Wow.
People say that if you are brave enough to visit the elementary school at night, your car may do strange things. The swings will move by themselves, and you might even hear voices coming from the walls.
I don't know, dude. There are certain places that if you go to at night when there's nobody there, just give off a creepy vibe, like a mall, a school, places like that normally
Any
are known
abandoned
for,
places
and
are scary.
Yeah, by default, but some are more than other though.
Especially when they have
you don't even have to have any paranormal.
Like they have Freddy Krueger. They have, like, all right. But if you guys want to visit this school, I will give you the address so you guys can go. Ready? Summit Elementary School is located on 1444, basically, Northwest 11th Avenue, Amarillo, Texas, 79107. So if you guys want to go visit it, it's there.
And obviously, we don't know what the laws and stuff around the area are. Over there,
don't break and entering. You can just go there.
We're not recommending you do anything you're not supposed to be doing.
Yeah, please heed the law when visiting these locations. and La Llorona.
Of course.
Yep.
I knew that one would be
Yep. El Paso, Texas.
Mm-hmm.
In Latin American folklore, La Llorona, the weeping woman, or the wailer, is a ghost who roams waterfront areas mourning her drowned children. In a typical version of the legend, it's a beautiful woman named Maria marries a rich ranchero with whom she bears 2 children.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. One day, Maria sees her husband with another woman, and in a fit of blind rage, takes her children down to the river and drowns them.
Yep, that is the...
And then immediately regrets it. Obviously, she kind of wakes up out of it.
She snaps.
And then she drowns herself.
Right.
But she's unable to enter the afterlife, and she is forced to be in purgatory and roam the earth.
Yeah.
So until she finds her children. In another version of the story, her children are illegitimate.
Right.
And she drowns them so that the father cannot take them away to be raised by his wife.
Mm.
So the story of La Llorona is told to scare children into good behavior.
Yeah.
It also specifically is to deter children from
water
playing against
sources.
Waterways,
Yeah.
so they
Which
don't
is
drown.
I know it's, you're not supposed to traumatize your kids or nothing like that, but sometimes the best
Like
way
I
to
said,
get somebody
there's
not to do something is to
urban
scare the
legends
shit out of them.
that are made to scare children from
Yeah.
behaving. I mean, besides beating the shit out of your children, that's all they had back then.
Mm.
So now we have we can take technology away from them. Like, yo, you're not getting your iPad this week.
Yeah.
You know, like no. Next is the chupacabra,
Mm-hmm.
and that's in Churro, Texas.
Yep.
The chupacabra is among the most popular mysterious beast in this location. It's also in Mexico too, as well. It's a it's regular star in sensational cable documentaries and local news reports. For 10 years, legends of this blood-sucking monster have been a staple of rural life throughout the central part of the state.
Mm-hmm.
Fueled by a succession of alleged carcasses
Yeah.
and sightings and tall tales. According to Ben Radford, researcher with the Center for Skeptical Inquiry and author of Tracking the Chupacabra, Texas is a chupacabra factory, is what he says.
Just turns out the
Just churns them out,
chupa
man.
content.
Yep. One of the foremost states associated with this vampire creature. And chupacabra, I think I've seen pictures of it. It kind of looks like a dog almost.
Yeah, it literally means goat sucker.
Yeah, that's exactly right. They literally, just...
Now, the legend does vary, too, because a lot of the times it'll say that, it very rarely will attack humans. And sometimes it's quite the opposite. Like, it doesn't care.
Yeah, no.
Human, animal, whatever.
Well, it also...
And it is specifying it's a creature. It's not a vampire.
Well, that's why, because I kind of want to wait, because I want to do an episode on... Because I want to start talking about cryptids soon.
Right.
Probably the next season. We're going to do a little bit of cryptids and stuff. So Chupacabra is going to be one of those we cover. So I don't want to get too far into it, but it is an urban legend, and it means
It's
like
a big
you said,
deal,
goat sucker, and it's huge in Texas.
Yeah.
So the next one is the Screaming Bridge, Arlington, Texas.
Nice.
So the bridge screams.
Does the bridge literally scream, or
well,
is it just something on the bridge is screaming?
All right, well, we'll
Let's
find
hear it.
out. One fall night, more than 50 years ago, several teenagers were carpooling home after their high school football team defeated its opponents by a landslide.
Yeah, the Texas and football.
Yep. Still riled up over the victory, driving responsibly definitely was not of the utmost importance.
No.
They were hooting and hollering and everything, like, yeah, we won. And then the bridge running through Arlington's River Legacy Park was just wide enough for one car at a time.
Oh, they just played a game of chicken, didn't they?
Yep. Arlington's River, let's say, hooting and hollering, the children's excitement drowned out the other noise, like that of a vehicle with no working headlights speeding towards them.
Oh, man.
By the time either party realized the intimate danger,
Yeah.
It was too late to be avoided.
Mm-hmm.
All right. The cars collided head on before erupting into a fiery explosion, plunging off the bridge into Trinity River below. Nobody survived the crash.
Wow.
Now closed to vehicular traffic, the accident site can only be accessed on foot. It was given the name Screaming Bridge ever since the first brave souls went exploring and experienced events that can only be explained as supernatural.
Right.
Legend, you hear that scream?
Yeah, right.
Already, yeah, scream. Legend has it that if you stand on the bridge and gaze into the river, you'll see a tombstone for each of the deceased with their name and date of birth and death.
So it's a real actual event that happened then.
It's
least,
a legend. It's a legend if you look over. Like I don't think there's no tombstones down in the river.
Well, that's what I was going to ask.
Yeah. Visit at midnight on the accident's anniversary, and you'll hear two cars screeching towards each other.
What if it's like a death loop?
That's what it is.
That's crazy.
Colliding in an ear-splitting crash.
Yeah, they're stuck there.
And I'll give you the location of the Screaming Bridge if you want to go to this thing.
I'd want to go see that. That'd be interesting.
The Screaming Bridge is located at 701 Northwest Green Oaks Boulevard, Arlington, Texas, 76006. So if you guys want to check it out, if you live in Texas, that'd be another good location to check out.
Mm-hmm.
So the Donkey Lady Bridge.
Oh no!
If this is a half lady, half donkey, it's in San Antonio, Texas.
Again.
Yep. The true origins of the Donkey Lady Bridge legend are unknown. The tale has been around long enough that there are multiple versions of it. Mm-hmm. Supposedly, it all started when a farming family living outside San Antonio met a horrific end.
Right.
The farmer set fire to his house, murdered his children, and left his wife horribly disfigured. Her fingers were melted down to stumps, creating hoof-like appendages.
Oh, that's creepy.
And the skin on her face was charred.
Oh, no.
And gave her face an elongated donkey-like appearance.
Oh, no.
Grieving the loss of her children and the betrayal of her husband, she haunts Elm Creek and torments those who try to cross. That's fucked up.
That is really.
But that's the most popular one. The Donkey Lady
children.
The Donkey Lady Bridge is located at Applewhite Road, San Antonio, Texas, 78264. And that's the zip code, of course. But.
Oh my god, that's creepy as hell, though. Can you imagine that walking towards you in the middle of the night?
Oh Jesus Christ, it'd be horrible. All right, Hell's Gate, Arlington, Texas.
Another Hell's Gate.
Hell yeah. Somewhere deep inside the tangled green depths of River Legacy Park in Arlington, there is rumored to be a very old trail surrounded on either side by murky swamps and overhanging trees. This long dirt trail is said to end at a dirt mound, a spot where captured spies of the Union Army were executed. This place is Hell's Gate. It is said that if you can still find the spot, you might see the remains of the gate posts where the gate once hung. This passage was supposedly one of the last things the prisoners ever saw, as they were led through it to the end of the trail, to the tree where they would be hanged.
Mm-hmm.
Some believe that because of all of the death that took place near the gate at the end of the trail, there are many tormented spirits still residing at Hell's Gate.
Mm-hmm.
They claim that if you walk the trail, you can still hear the disembodied whispers, sobs, and prayers of the men and women who once walked their final steps to this awful place.
Mm-hmm.
And again, Hell's Gate is located in River Legacy Park at 701 Northwest Green Oaks Boulevard, Arlington, Texas, 76006.
The Hell Gates are always pretty interesting.
And that was my last one.
All right, well,
so
those were some pretty good ones. I always like doing the urban legends because most of them, even if you've heard them, each state has its own unique origin of that legend or story of how it happened, type deal. So even if you have sometimes repeats, they're different.
Yeah, they are. There's subtle differences and everything, and and to me that means like, well, maybe they are real because there is so many
It's
renditions
shared.
in every state and every country.
There has
Really,
to be some kind of
yeah, there has to be
link.
something to it.
Yeah.
And also, what I really loved about Texas is that it not only had Americanized urban legends, it also had Hispanic legends as well, because it used to be part of the Spanish Empire.
Yeah,
back then, and we kind of either wanted it or took it over.
The culture there is definitely in different parts. Definitely a mix of American and Mexican cultures.
Yeah, and
blending together.
Yeah, I find that fascinating because La Llorona,
The Chupacabra.
yeah, Chupacabra, like and El Morte or El Muerto.
El Morte.
Muerto, yeah. So I love that.
Muerto.
Muerto.
El Muerto.
Yeah, Muerto, because he's a guy.
Yeah.
Muerto would be a girl, right? Anyways, whatever. Anyways, it doesn't matter. As you know, I can barely speak English, so we appreciate you guys listening. Like I said, we're going to be promoting this band, Avilion, and I'm going to give you a little bit more information on that.
So you can find their YouTube videos as well.
First, let's talk about the bandmates. Nathan is the guitarist and singer. Josh is the guitarist and singer.
Garrett is the drummer, and Jerome is the manager.
Yeah. You guys can find them on Instagram at Avilion28, YouTube at Avilion. Just type in Avilion.
Twitter at Avilion2318, and on TikTok for the will be Avilion Band.
Yep, and Avilion is spelled Avilion. So we're gonna play their song "If There Were Tequila" by Avilion, and I hope you guys enjoy it. If you do, go check them out, show your support, and I'm sure they'll love it.
Yep.
So,
as always, thank you guys for listening.
Thank you. Bye.
If I were Tequila, would you shoot me on down? Or call up a buddy to help take me out? Would you forget all your memories from a long time ago? Except for the ones you could never let go. If I were Tequila, would you chase me away? Drink me in moonlight until the next day. Would I help you wash all your worries away? If I were Tequila, would you not stay? If you were Tequila, could you find a way to heal all the scars and ease all my pain? And if you were Tequila, would you stay with me? Or stick around like a widow in grief? Or if I were Tequila, would you chase me away? Bring me in the moonlight until the next day. Would I help you wash all your